we're gonna start having Reed put on his costume or put on his makeup. And so you can see this little picture. This is an old photograph of what the Grinch makeup looked like. We're doing it a little different this time, but we have this as his example. Ooh, scary Grinch. There's the Grinch. Yeah. And so, but this time around, Reed has decided to wear red contacts.
I want red eyes.
The Grinch is pretty scary, so he's gonna put
He has red eyes in the book.
He's not really scary.
So
he has a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Grows 3 times.
And eyes of red. So this is what I'll have to do first every day.
So he's gonna have to sit at this makeup chair and look at himself in the mirror. So if you guys want to get closer, don't worry about it. Reed's comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're not the first people to get all up in his personal business while he's trying to get things done.
Well, and Reed's got 2 sons and who are here a lot. So there's a lot of times when the Grinch makeup is being put on with a 3-year-old sitting on his lap who's also getting Grinch makeup.
Trying to help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the red
A
eyes.
3-year-old if you want to borrow one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those help, I think.
Here with the light. Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He talked to his optometrist today. They're figuring out whether or not it works.
It's safe. I trust it. It's from the internet. How could it be bad?
Do you want wedges or do you want
Wedges are good.
Okay. So the first thing he does is he's gonna put on pancake makeup, and pancake makeup requires yes, like pancakes, like they eat.
You want a bite?
Don't eat it.
I get to eat pancakes.
Oh, I should put on my hood first.
Okay.
My hood.
So the pancake is a kind of makeup that here you go.
Thank you.
Needs to get wet before you use it. And so, do we put these over or under your suspenders? Under.
I don't know.
Yeah, under.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while since we've done this play. But yeah, so he has to wear this hood to keep his hair back.
Yep.
But yeah, so
And instead of getting it wet with water, we get it wet with, what is this?
it's some kind of alcohol spray, and it is hopefully a water-based film-forming barrier to seal makeup. Is what this says. Shake well before using. Did you shake it well?
I didn't shake it at all.
Great. But so
Keep putting green.
he's putting green. You can get closer. So Rito has played this role. This will be his 3rd time playing this role, and in times past, with the other makeup that we have used, it has dyed his skin. And so he's had to live his holiday life experience slightly green, which is not the way that most people want to spend their Christmas time. I
It
mean,
looks
some
like
people,
I'm in permanent liver failure.
yeah. So we're trying something new this time around, which is the this new style of pancake makeup. It's called Pro Paint by Graftobian.
We're going to hope for the best.
Yeah, we'll see.
We have no idea at this point.
His face.
Yeah.
His
So,
face
do you
is
guys
green.
ever wear makeup for like Halloween and stuff? Is that something that you've had to put on your face?
No.
No.
So that's a thing that sometimes you're like, oh yeah, no, I've totally worn that once. It took me 2 hours to put it on, and it was stressful, and it did, I was dyed for the next week. Well, this is Reed's every day. So every day when he comes into the theater, he gets dressed into this bottom layer and then starts putting the makeup on. And we only have a half hour from starting to get dressed
What
to
does half hour mean, Andy?
half hour means get dressed.
Yep.
I will shout that into a room full of student actors. I will say, what does half hour mean? And they will go, half hour means get dressed. And then they'll all scurry to the dressing rooms, which is perfect because I need them to get dressed. And so so when we first start doing it, it's not always easy, and but once we get into the run, and we've been doing this, 35 shows, 45 shows, by the time that we close after 80 something, it's pretty easy. It's pretty standardized by that point. But getting a little green. Yeah, he's not scary. See, this is why we met Reed first.
Hi.
Yeah, and so Reed also played the role of Shrek, and there's a different makeup that we use for that is actually called Ogre Green that never looks dry. It's not fun. It's not a fun makeup to use.
No, it never comes out.
It never, yeah.
Why not ochre green for a Grinch?
Because it's too wet looking.
Oh,
Yep, and then it doesn't look like skin. It looks like ogre skin. It doesn't look like Grinch skin. But also that's the stuff that dyes his face, that dyes his makeup,
And my hair.
and his hair. Yeah.
Because when you sweat, it starts to bleed.
But it died.
No, she said they're hoping this time it doesn't stay green.
Yeah. Hopefully his face.
We're
won't stay
hoping.
green.
Fingers crossed.
Secretly, she's playing a joke on him, and it's actually
I have a lot of really bad family holiday
be
photos.
super green this time.
So he starts with that green color, and then his second layer of green is a darker green that he's going to put on with what is called a stipple brush. And so the stipple brush makes it so that it's not a smooth layer of color. It looks more like you use stipple if you're going to put a beard on, a fake beard on, so it sort of looks more broken up like that. So the stipple brush is, is it in your eye?
I got a little makeup in my eye. That always happens.
With the contacts.
With the
Yeah.
Really
red
makes
contact.
the red pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're hoping for. But,
Fingers crossed.
And Reed, how many times have you played the Grinch?
This is number 3. So,
but you've been in the
third time's
show.
the charm. This will be my 5th time doing the play. Because the first time I was in it, I was pretty new to the theater. And what was weird is I played the old dog at the ripe age of 22. So it's supposed to be this dog that's near death's door. But yeah, so I was that the first couple times. And then the third time, the guy who had played the Grinch before was asked back and declined because he never wanted to do it again.
What does that say?
Because it is, while it is really fun, and it's also really hard, and some of it can be frustrating. Like, for example, you'll see the gloves that we wear, which have, like, finger extenders, so that my hands are longer and they look not like little smokies. But they, it's really hard to pick up anything, so you try to pick up, like, a prop, and it's like...
Yeah.
like that. And there's scenes where you have to pick up a lot of stuff really, really quickly. So some people are like, I hate those gloves and I will never do anything with them again.
Well, and the number of times that, because all of the hair and stuff, the number of times that I have pulled hair out of Reed's mouth during a play, because he's got his gloves on and he can't, and he's like, and so I reach in to his mouth and pull hair out. So this is...
We know each other real
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So how many shows does that mean you have done this makeup for?
I missed some of the last run.
That's right.
Because I got hurt. But I've done this probably 85 times the first time.
Yeah.
And then another 50 the second time.
Yeah.
So
Did you only do one eye on purpose?
I'm doing the other one, sure.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
What is this? This is mic tape. So we put microphones on everybody, and in order for the microphone to be hidden and stay on their body, we tape it to the back of their neck. It's actually medical, transparent, some sort of tape. And so this kind of tape, it doesn't hurt you when it's on your skin, and it comes off pretty easy. So I have a little roll of it in case somebody this is my apron that I wear during the show. And it's full of all sorts of things. It's got a headlamp that looks like Darth Vader, and his feet turn on, and they move around. So I wear that on my forehead if I have to be in the dark backstage. And I have eyelash glue, and I've got a stress ball, because sometimes I get stressed, and sometimes students get stressed, and I give them the stress ball to squish so that they can do their costume changes faster. I have 2 different pairs of scissors. I have a seam ripper. I've got a tape measure.
It's a pretty magic apron.
It is pretty good, right? Let's see what else. I got all sorts of stuff. Notebooks and pens, all sorts of pins, and then back here I've got Kleenex, and I've got a screwdriver, and I've got a highlighter, and I've got
Who knows when you need to highlight things?
ibuprofen. So yeah,
You
so
need like way more of that one thing.
Yeah.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah, all kinds of good.
You only had one.
So this is and then multiple styles of hair binder, and depending on what the show is, there also will be paperwork in there once the show starts coming. But so this is my little magic apron of stuff. And Jennifer, who's my assistant, Jennifer is way more on top of her apron than I am. She's got Band-Aids in multiple sizes and colors. She's got Altoid tins full of things for the whole width of her apron. And so you're like, Jennifer, I need a whatever. And she's just like, hold on, let me, this? Do you need this? Do you need snacks? We get in trouble if we have snacks.
It's like Mommy's purse.
But yeah, so it's like Mary Poppins. It's a very Lips.
Yeah.
Now, see, while I was talking, Reed has moved on to
I drew
eye
on my
lines,
face.
which are supposed to be thinner than they were before. Yeah.
Yeah. They're a little bit.
And he needs to make the lines really big because of the distance.
Yeah.
Right? And the
So
lighting and-
so one of the things about stage, if somebody does, some of our students, because we make them put their makeup on themselves, will get very distraught because it is imperfect. And I make them stand 10 feet away. So if we're in a space like this, I make them stand against the wall and look at themselves in the mirror, and then I make them dance around. And I'm like, can you tell that one of your eyebrows is a millimeter off? They're like, no. I'm like, great, because neither can the audience, because you are that far away from them dancing around. It's going to be okay. And so, yeah, so you have to go, stuff that looks pretty cartoonish up close has to be, in order to be seen successfully from the like, because you guys have been in our theater, the balconies are at quite a distance from the stage, and they offer a really cool, full picture look of the stage, but they don't show a lot of detail that you get up close. So you have to have pretty dramatic distance spaces. We also have a lot of baby wipes here at the Children's
Yes,
Theater
we
Company.
do.
It's all about removing stuff with baby wipes. But
So how were the eyes red before if you didn't use the red contact?
so before his eyes, we used a red makeup and we drew underneath his eyes, and then kind of like really, like you ever put makeup in your waterline, we would put the red makeup in the waterline.
Okay.
Which is not great. And so the green was hard to take off, but the red was hard to take off, and
Yeah,
so
and it's
he had
in your eyes.
right in his eyeballs looking.
I looked like I had a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the red contacts, we're hoping to avoid.
He's
Yeah.
the same guy he was before, just now with makeup.
Hi.
It's all right.
Just a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
How long does it take to put on the whole face?
We'll get it to about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right now we're
No.
My,
longer,
like 20.
but yeah. So yeah, and so another aspect of it is that you want to make sure that you follow the actual lines of your own face, right? So you'll notice he was making frown faces and
Yep.
faces at himself. The best makeup follows your own facial structure, and so you have to sort of make the Grinch shapes. Now, a thing about Reed,
I
his
feel
makeup
like she
doesn't
just said
stick
your
to
face
his.
looks like the Grinch all the time.
Yeah, I did. It's true.
It's just not green.
Yeah.
His voice sounds like the Grinch a lot. There's a lot of
does.
times when we'll be talking and I'm like, oh no, the Grinch just said that to me, not Rito.
This happened. See, look at I cannot
Reed's
get-
forehead doesn't keep makeup, as you can see. Look at he'll wipe it on, and you should use the stipple in that, and that'll make it stick better.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. But yeah, so yeah, Reed's forehead doesn't keep makeup.
It's
A
resistant.
thing that we know.
Fun fact.
But the other thing is that I have a really round face, and the Grinch should not have a really round face generally.
He should be a little.
Yeah, so I have to elongate my face most of the time. Which then sometimes you will be at home talking, so it's like, oh my god, because it'll lock up on you.
So while he's finishing up, I want you guys to look at this wig. So this Grinch wig is really cool. If you look inside of it, you'll notice that there are magnets. So the magnets are there to keep the Santa hat on. I am obsessed with magnets. Magnets are like the coolest thing that can happen to the wardrobe department, because they go really fast and get things to stay in really fast and well. These are rare earth magnets, and I think they're probably like 16 pound or something like that, which seems excessive, but when you have to get all the way through the, see in there? Magnets. But also you'll notice the front of this is this little, what is called lace. It is a mesh that he'll put that and it will go over the makeup. So tied into that piece of mesh by Robert, who is our wig master, are individual hairs tied into the mesh. I don't know about people's wig experience or how many wigs they encounter in their real life, but this is it's a really labor intensive. It takes Robert 24 work hours to make one wig. And it, yeah,
And you only have one wig?
for the Grinch we only have the one. Yep. But yeah, it's right there.
There
Put
it
it down a
is.
little
Thank
bit so I can see your pretty face.
So then the last thing, so now he's got his full face and it looks right and it's got it done. And so now the last thing that he does is he sets it with powder
Which generally ends up smearing all of it and making it look
and making
terrible.
it look worse. But
Yeah.
the powder, the intention for setting it with the powder is that it keeps it in place. And so when he starts to, because if you touch the makeup when it's not powdered, you can smear it off really easy. But once you put the powder on, then it sets it and keeps it in place, which is true for real makeup too. People who put makeup on their faces, just so you know. And then the powder that he's using is called Neutral Set. So the intention behind Neutral Set is that it blends into the makeup and will go away. You got pretty heavy over here, yeah. So. And then yeah, so he hits himself in the face with the.
A lot of times.
But, yeah. Temporarily.
All right.
Do you wear eyelashes too?
I don't for this
Not
one.
in this one.
In
The
a
other
lot of
ones do.
shows.
All of the other Who's do though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
They wear the really long.
Yeah, fake eyelashes. Putting fake eyelashes on a 9-year-old boy is one of my best memories.
Wearing fake eyelashes is probably my least favorite makeup thing to put on.
So speaking of ways that we know each other, during Cinderella, Reed would wear fake eyelashes as Dorcas, and I would put them on for him quite often. And he would tell me what my hands smelled like that day.
Yeah.
So I eat a lot of oranges. I really like citrus fruits. So there was a lot of days where my hands smelled like citrus, and I was told that my hands smell like citrus.
Led to a lot of fights.
Led to a lot of fights.
Why did it lead to fights, Andy?
Because I love oranges and Reed doesn't.
I like them just fine. I just don't like the saying.
Face?
Apples
It's like
and
comparing
oranges.
apples and oranges because they're both fruits. So it's actually easy to compare them, and apples are better. And Andy,
Oranges are better.
struggling.
See, this is a fight that we have every day. All right, how many more pins do you want? We're not
I'm
actually
fine.
gonna
I'm
do
not
it.
doing
All
any
right,
somersaults.
cool. Yeah, feel good about that?
Yeah.
Feel secure. You wanna do casting?
It's green, right?
Right over. So the Grinch costume is green and furry and.
And see these pockets back here?
Oh, do you want ice? We can put ice in.
No,
It's
we
in
don't
here.
need any right now.
Sure
But
you
this is to
do.
put ice packets in so that
So you
I
don't get too
don't overheat.
Yeah.
Because it gets really hot after a while because the lights alone make everything.
Yeah, even in this room, these lights are pretty warm, right? Do you feel a little warm in here?
A lot of warm.
We're gonna play a roll of cash games, but generally you like.
Up high.
We can find.
Up in
for sure the
space.
Grinch CTC one.
Got it.
Cross your face.
And then after this, I'm gonna send you all a discount link as well. And if you want to do giveaways on your channels, just let me know. We'll set it up.
Great.
So, yeah.